This is the Thrive Smoke, a 14.5 millimeter thermoformed paddle designed for players who prioritize power, plow-through, and a stable, connected feel at impact. This is a paddle that plays fast but can come with a higher than desired swing weight that is noticeable from the first swing. More on that later, including some options for you. It delivers linear power and solid stability, but does require focus. It's not effortless, but when you find the rhythm, it delivers good power on drives and putaways. Thrive Smoke is a paddle that's been generating some buzz with its unique construction, design choices, and the pros switching to it. But is it the right fit for your game? That's what I'll break down in this review. Before we get into the details, I want to make it clear that this paddle was provided to me without any conditions attached. Thrive had no say in this review. These are my independent and unfiltered thoughts. If you decide the Thrive Smoke is the right paddle for your game, you can save 10% with my code MPB, and I do get a small commission that helps support this channel. What makes the Thrive Smoke unique is a combination of features, including a macro-charged core, a 5-layer surface design, and the flatter topped elongated shape that's designed to enhance stability, which it does okay, but that 14.5 millimeter core does need some weight to stabilize. To me, the paddle feels stiff, powerful, and connected, though some players that I let play it mentioned that they'd like to see a thinner grip, and I would too. They did appreciate the longer 5.6-inch handle and the unique, slightly softer feel the paddle offers, especially for a power-leaning 14.5 millimeter model. Another thing worth noting is Thrive's swing weight customization, which I'll explain more later because I think that's a big benefit for anyone trying to dial in their perfect paddle setup. Let's start by breaking down the technology behind the Thrive Smoke. The core is what Thrive calls their macro-charged polypropylene performance core, which is marketing speak. It just means that it features enlarged 10 millimeter honeycomb cells. For reference, the Bantam series from PaddleTech also features a 10 millimeter cell size. Thrive tested multiple cores and found this particular design delivered the greatest balance of pop and power while maintaining stability and consistency across the paddle surface. The larger core cells reduce weight, which is necessary due to the weight added by the 5 surface layers and the square head, while still providing a solid and not too heavy feel. What really stands out about this paddle is its face construction. While most paddles use 3 surface layers, Thrive is using 5. These layers combine Toray T700 carbon fiber and fiberglass in a unique layup pattern that gives the paddle a crisp, poppy response while maintaining a controlled feel during gameplay. Thrive claims the 5-layer design creates a larger sweet spot. And being 14.5 millimeters thick, the paddle should be quicker in hand than a typical 16 millimeter paddle, especially with the static weight coming in just under 8 ounces. Now let's get into the full specs. The paddle is 16.5 inches long by 7.5 inches wide, and the core is 14.5 millimeters thick. Again, that handle is 5.6 inches long with a circumference of 4.25 inches. The static weight is 7.94 ounces, and the swing weight is 119.26, and twist weight is 6.14. So what do these numbers actually mean for gameplay? The high swing weight provides excellent plow-through and stability, especially on drives and putaways. But it also slows down my hand speed, which is something I really noticed during fast exchanges. The lower twist weight means off-center hits can cause the paddle to twist slightly in hand, and it does. To help with that, I added 3 grams of tungsten at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, which helped improve stability on mishits. I also experimented by adding a 4 to 5 inch strip of tungsten tape up the handle. This gave me a bit more control, but increased the swing weight even more, which I didn't love. Honestly, I'd be curious to test a lower swing weight version of the Smoke to see how it plays. And that's one of the benefits of ordering directly through Thrive. They measure every paddle, and they also give you the option to choose which specific swing weight you want when you make your order. I think that's a huge advantage. For the Smoke, I'd recommend going as light as possible and then adding weight if you feel like you need it. It gives you more control over how the paddle plays right out of the box. Now here's what I don't love. First, that high swing weight. It really slows down my hands in fast exchanges, and I find myself fighting the paddle a little more than I'd like. The second issue is the handle. While I appreciate the longer length for two-handed play, I don't love the overall feel. If it were up to me, every paddle should come with a 4-inch handle because it's just easier to bulk up with an overgrip or two versus take away. That would not only improve how it feels in my hand, but would also help cut down on some of the static weight. Less weight and better balance could go a long way towards making this paddle feel faster and a bit better balanced. Now let's talk about how the Thrive Smoke performs during play. When it comes to power, this paddle definitely delivers. Thrives feel solid and forceful, and when I stepped into the ball, I got a consistent, predictable power profile that made it easy to pressure opponents. Serves averaged 56.7 miles per hour, which puts it in the 78th percentile among the paddles that I've tested. Punch volleys were even hotter, registering at 40.5 miles per hour, which is in the 100th percentile. That's as hot as it gets, and there is a but here. I might just have been hitting extra hard that day, and I should rerun those numbers to confirm. But right now, I'm simply reporting directly from the radar gun. The power profile feels linear, meaning what you put in is what you get out. There's no unpredictable trampoline-like effect. The power is strong and consistent without feeling uncontrollable. Spin performance came in at 2,193 RPM, respectable, which is in the 50th percentile. It's a solid result, but not elite, especially if you're used to paddles with ultra-aggressive textures. Are you going to notice much bending between 2,193 and 2,400 RPM? Probably not. Spin on most paddles is just good enough these days. The soft game took some getting used to. Out of the box, the stiffer feel of the paddle meant I had to focus more with resets and dinks. It took some getting used to. If I wasn't dialed in, the ball had a tendency to pop up more than I wanted it to. Dinks and drops felt clean and connected once I found the rhythm, but this isn't a paddle that covers up mistakes. Maneuverability is where the Smoke challenged me most. That higher swing weight slowed down my hand speed during quick exchanges at the net. And I even found myself choking up on the handle to compensate, and I rarely do that. So if you're someone who relies on fast hands, this might be something to think about. And again, if you do order, my recommendation is to order the lightest swing weight option possible. In terms of comparisons, the Thrive Smoke feels stiff, but not overly stiff. There's a solid connected feel at impact that's firm without feeling harsh. Players have compared it to the PaddleTech TKO, but with a much bigger sweet spot and easier playability. For me, the way the ball feels off the face is similar to the Rev Pickleball Zeus, though the Smoke offers a bit more forgiveness. And there's also a resemblance to the Mark Pickleball Unmarked, though the Smoke leans a little softer in feel due to those 5 surface layers. The Smoke offers good plow-through and stability, but it isn't as forgiving on off-center hits. I think the Thrive Smoke is best suited for players who value plow-through and a structured, powerful response. If you like to take big and deliberate swings, maybe you play a lot of singles, and you want a paddle that fits that kind of play, this is an option to consider. Availability for the Smoke is off and on. That's because it's sold out on the original launch date. It is priced at $219, and if you use my code NPB, you can bring that down to just under $200, which is a better value, but still on the higher end and approaching the premium paddle category. At this price point, you have other options to consider, such as the 11624 Power Series, which will save you some cash, and also the Franklin C45 or standout CF4, Bread and Butter Invader, and many more. If you have any questions about the Thrive Smoke, drop them in the comments below. For more paddle breakdowns, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're planning to pick up the Smoke, check out the link in my description or use code NPB to save some money. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.